When we access Global Enterprise AI Lab, we'll be able to open the tools dashboard where we can view and manage all the tools available in the project. Each tool is displayed as a card that includes its name, a short description, and a label in the upper right corner indicating whether it is a draft or already published. Clicking on a card opens a panel on the right side of the screen with detailed information about the tool, including its name, description, associated project, visibility, and version. We can also filter and search tools and switch between different views. Selecting the Edit button opens a tab to continue working with the tool. Next to the Edit button, there's also a More Options menu with additional actions such as the ability to permanently delete the tool from the dashboard. To create a new tool, we click on New Tool. This opens a blank Edit tab to configure a new tool from scratch. The configuration is divided into 3 drop-down panels: Scope, Information and Parameters. Scope establishes the connection between the tool and an external service. Global Enterprise AI Lab supports dynamic data retrieval via OpenAPI, which allows tools to interact with external APIs. There are 2 possible input methods, URL and JSON. The URL method is used when we want to connect to an API through a direct endpoint. The full URL must be provided along with the corresponding authentication credentials. Then, the full URL must be pasted into the OpenAPI field. On the other hand, the JSON method can be used when the OpenAPI specification is available in JSON format. By pasting it into the corresponding field, Global Enterprise AI Lab automatically identifies the available endpoints and operations. The Information section defines how the tool is displayed and identified. It includes the name, which is a mandatory field, and allows Global Enterprise AI Lab to correctly identify and route the operation defined in the OpenAPI specification. It is important to note that, although an OpenAPI specification may contain several operations or endpoints, each tool created in Global Enterprise AI Lab represents only one of them. If more than one endpoint of the same API needs to be defined, then we must create a separate tool for each one. Okay, we now move on to the Parameters section. Here we define the inputs the tool needs to function properly. To add a parameter, we select Add New and fill in the fields. The key is the parameter identifier. It must exactly match the parameter name defined in the OpenAPI specification. For example, if the endpoint includes parameters such as query text and provider, those exact names must be used as keys in the tool configuration to ensure the values are correctly assigned at runtime. Then, the description consists of a short explanation of the parameters function. The type field specifies the type of parameter being configured. It can be an application, configuration, or context parameter. The application type parameter is used to pass dynamic values at runtime. For example, a tool that sends an email may receive the recipient's address and message content as application type parameters. These values are resolved by the LLM at runtime and sent as query parameters, especially in GET requests. A configuration type parameter is used to define fixed values, such as API tokens or credentials that are set per project. They are usually sent in headers and remain static during execution. This is the only type of parameter that allows direct viewing and modification. Optionally, a configuration parameter can retrieve its value from a secret to improve security. As for context type parameters, they enable the tool to automatically retrieve values from the session at runtime, such as user, project, or organization information. These parameters don't require manual configuration, as their values are resolved dynamically at runtime. Then, the value field sets the parameter's default or fixed value. For configuration type parameters, this field is mandatory and defines the static value the tool will use. We can either enter a fixed literal value or reference a secret by specifying its name. For example, if we enter my secret API key in this field, the tool will look for a secret with that exact name to securely retrieve the actual value. If the parameter is of type context, this field is optional and is only required when the key and the context variable have different names. For application type parameters, this field is usually left blank, as the values are provided dynamically at runtime. Next, we must specify the data type, which can be Boolean, decimal, JSON, number, or string, and select the required box if the parameter is mandatory. The secret field must be enabled if the parameter value contains confidential data. This only applies to configuration type parameters. To delete a parameter, we select the trash bin icon and then confirm the action by clicking on the confirmation icon. Finally, let's move on to the JSON tab of a tool. This view is automatically populated as we configure the different fields in the configuration tab.